Alright, it's time for another episode of Versus. This time, David Robinson and Joel Embiid. Now, I would have made it against Joel Embiid versus Hakeem Olajuwon, but I think that's way too easy. I think that's way too easy. I think most of y'all will agree that Hakeem is way over Joel Embiid. So, I'm not even going to go that route. But the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of people, when the Olympics was in full play for the last few weeks, they keep trying to say, oh, the Dream Team, well, not the Dream Team, but this team, the current version of Team USA's, oh, they'll beat the Dream Team out of the water. Yeah, they'll beat them out of the water. And we know that's not true. And David Robinson was part of that list. And I think in my last video, not the Anthony Davis versus Patrick Ewing one, but the Clyde Drexler versus Paul George. It might have been a Ben Wallace versus the Draymond Green one. Some of y'all gotta actually watch the video before commenting. I've realized a lot of people, they don't watch videos. They see a headline and then comment on it and have no understanding what was being said in said video. It drives me nuts. But that's how this society is now. They don't listen. They don't read stuff. They just say whatever. And it's mostly the younger generation. Because they're too lazy to watch anything. But anyways, they'd rather watch somebody shave their ass for a whole 20 minutes. So, David Robinson for the young kids. And also, these videos are for educational purposes as well. They educate the younger generation who don't know nothing about 90s, except for Michael Jordan. They barely know anything about Michael Jordan. So anyways, David Robinson. We all know, for the old heads, all know David Robinson, a.k.a. the Admiral, because of his service in the U.S. Navy. Did his time with the Navy. And also, Navy is a college as well. So, let's not forget about that. Let me look. I never looked at his college stats. I never did. I don't think he even has college stats. I don't think he does. Try to look it up right quick. But before we get into his professional career, David Robinson was considered to be the best player of basketball in Naval Academy history. Because he did go to U.S. Navy Academy. And I think the only one. He chose the number 50 after his idol, Ralph Sampson. A little insider of David Robinson and his psyche before he entered college. He had no expectations to play in the NBA. He really didn't. He did not want to play in the NBA at all. But in his last 2 years at the U.S. Navy Academy, he was consensus All-American and won college basketball 2 most prestigious, of course, player awards, the Naismith and Wooden Awards, and as a Naval Academy first-classman as a senior. He led Navy, a number 7 seed, within a game of the Final Four before they lost to Duke in the East Regional Final. So he was a big deal in college, a really big deal, which led him to be drafted to the San Antonio Spurs in 1987, first round, first overall pick as well. Now the Spurs, I'm trying to think, where were they at during the 80s? I don't think they was that great in the 80s. I don't think they was. But anyways, just a little bit more insight on David Robinson. David Robinson is also a smart guy. He achieved a score of 1,320 on the SAT and majored in mathematics at the U.S. Navy. Wow, and he grew up like a rocket ship too. Sorry for not going ahead a little bit, but yeah, he was 5'9" in his teenage years, in his junior year. And had a growth spurt 6'6", and had an even more growth spurt in the Navy. They got him to 7'1". But anyways, moving on to his NBA career, he won rookie Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. He was drafted in the 1987 first round, first overall pick. I think he went back to go serve with the Navy for his military service. He didn't start playing until the 1989, I think, for the most part. So his real rookie season was 1989, 1989 season, which he won the Rookie of the Year award as well, with a record of 21-61, the worst franchise record in history at the time for the San Antonio Spurs. But as David Robinson's career went on, they continued to get better and progress. David Robinson, in his first year with the Spurs, he did average. Sorry, that's his playoff stuff. His first year with the Spurs, he did average 24.3 points a game, 12 rebounds, which did, like I said, earn him a Rookie of the Year. The next year, he boosted it up even more. For his sophomore year in the 1990-91 season, averaging 25 points, 13 rebounds per game, while blocking 3 blocks per game as well, while shooting a whopping 55% from the field, which is actually a career high for his whole career. He came close to that in the next year, his junior season in the NBA, but his points production went down because he only played in 68 games. But his first 2 seasons, he did play in all 82 games and got the Spurs to playoffs in 1990. They would play. I'll keep moving this on. They would play. Who did they play the first round? Sorry, I can't say I'm not all familiar with the Spurs history like that. Just for not back then. Recently, of course. But they will finish the season 56-26. His second season as the second seed. He will beat the Denver Nuggets, and they actually sweep them in 3 games when they used to play in 3 out of 5. Win 3 out of 5, but they would lose in 7 games to the Portland Trailblazers, which did have Clyde Drexler on that team. So I know a lot of Spurs fans right now are hoping that Victor Wembanyama will make the jump next season. Well, looks like based on how they lost to the U.S., I hope he's hungry for the Spurs' sake. That team did have Terry Cummings and Sean Elliott on that team as well. But every year, with the exception of 92, the Spurs were pretty much in the playoffs up until when they get to the playoffs. When they stopped getting to the playoffs when David Robinson had that injury. 96-97 season. So he's pretty much in the playoffs every season up until then. He did have his best career year in the 93-94 season, where he averaged 29 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. He shot a career high 34% from 3, and Pryor played the most minutes of his career in 40 minutes. Now, like I said, in the 96-97 season, he had that terrible injury, which led to the Spurs being absolutely garbage the next season, which also led to Tim Duncan being drafted in the 97 season. First round, first pick overall. And that's when the Spurs really start cooking because David Robinson was almost on his way out. He was getting older. He did come into the league a little bit later on. And the Spurs would win their first championship the 88-99 season. Robinson's point production did go down, 15.8. Then they would win again the 2002-2003 season. Robinson played 64 games, and prior he put out his lowest input of production that year, 8.5 points a game, 1 block a game, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, while shooting 46% from the field. With career averages with 21 points a game, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists, and averaging 3 blocks for his whole entirety of his career. Playoffs, 18-10 for the playoffs. David Robinson was part of the 86 FIBA World Championship game, 87 Pan American Games, 1988 Summer Olympics, 92 and 96 Olympics. He would win gold medals in 92, part of the Dream Team, 96 as well. In Atlanta, they won bronze in 1988 in Seoul. He did win gold in 86 in Spain. 87, they won silver in the Pan American. And in 92, right before the Olympics in 92, they won the FIBA America Championship. That was pretty much, I think, all the Dream Team in there. David Robinson did get over 20 points, 20,000 points for his career, over 10,000 rebounds and 2,000 blocks, almost 3,000 blocks. Named in the Hall of Fame, FIBA Hall of Fame as a player as well. 50th anniversary team in 96 and 75th anniversary team 2 years ago. He is a two-time champion. He did win MVP in 95, 10-time All-Star, 4-time NBA first team, 2-time All-NBA second team, 4-time All-NBA third team. He was a Defensive Player of the Year in 92. He's on the defensive team 4 times, first team 4 times, 4-team. Sorry, I get so tongue twisted around this. He's a part of the NBA All-Defensive second team 4 times. Won a Sportsmanship Award in 2001. He is a scoring champion in 94. Rebounding leader in 91. Blocks leader in 92. Like I say, he's Rookie of the Year. Part of the Rookie first team as well. As far as him as a player on the court, David Robinson, what people don't get, he was fast in his younger years. He can play in the post. He can handle the ball, especially for somebody who's 7'1". He can play defense, as you all know. I just named all his defensive teams. He was very hard to stop, from what I remember. And of course, he can block shots. He did average almost 3 blocks a game for his whole entire career, and he could shoot from the mid range. He could shoot a little bit from the 3, as he did have a career high 34% from the field from 3-point. Now, he is also, let's not forget this. Let's not forget this. He is also only 10 players to record 70 points or more in a single game. He scored 71 points against the Los Angeles Clippers on April 24, 1994. The other players being Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain multiple times, David Thompson, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Kobe, and Joel Embiid and Luka as well. So, the only person I would say Tim Duncan had a tough time with down the post was Hakeem, because Hakeem had the dream shake and just had too many moves for David Robinson. It's that legendary, I think it was the 94 playoffs they played against each other. Hakeem cooked David Robinson, but David Robinson was no slouch. He was no scrub either. All right, let's move on to Joel and Embiid right quick. While David Robinson was mopping dudes up on the floor in 94, Joel Embiid was born in 94. Actually, shout out to David Robinson. He just had a birthday recently. But anyways, as we know about Joel Embiid, we know Joel Embiid was drafted out of Kansas, born in Cameroon. Supposedly has Cameroon, French, and American nationality. But like I say, he was born in Cameroon, went to high school in Florida, Monteverde Academy, then Rock School in Gainesville, Florida. Played only 1 year at Kansas in 2013-2014 season. Drafted first round, 3rd overall pick in the 2014 draft by the 76ers. Now, similar to David Robinson, he didn't really play until a year later. Of course, because he had the foot injury, I think. Stress fracture. Damn, he just been injury prone altogether. So he had a stress fracture in his back when he was in Kansas. And then he ended up undergoing a broken bone in his foot and missed a whole entire 2014-15 season. But he was named the draft made him the 3rd Cameroonian-born NBA player after Ruben Ba. I can't pronounce that name. And the second player being Luc Bamute. Like I said, For most of Joel Embiid's career in the beginning, he had injuries. It was feel like it was almost every year, but he finally got healthy in the 2016-17 season, and some reason he got Rookie of the Year honors. All rookie honors. He did not get Rookie of the Year. But as we know about Joel Embiid's career, since he became popular and everything, he has not had the same production as David Robinson so far, at least. You could say they probably at this time 30 years old. So David Robinson turned 35, 30 and 60, no, 95. So Joel Embiid is now 30 years old. So they probably could have the same output. But at least David Robinson got to the conference finals, Western Conference Finals, when Joel Embiid hasn't even sniffed the Eastern Conference Finals yet. He's a certified choker. Joel Embiid is a certified choker. We're just gonna admit that. I don't know why people try to act like that doesn't happen. He's a certified choker. So far. I ain't gonna sit here and go out and act like Joel Embiid's a scrub. No, Joel Embiid is great. He just can't get it done. And there's too many excuses why he can't get it done. I also think one of the reasons why he can't last for 82 games. Let me see, has he played 82 games yet? He hasn't even played 82 games yet in his whole entire career. The most he played is 68 games in the 21-22 season. And I think the reason why I said this in the video a couple of videos ago, talking about him, if he wasn't for injuries, he'd be the GOAT. I'm like, one of the reasons why you can't last the whole season, because I think for the position he's playing, he's too overweight. For the output he's doing, he has to slim down. And that it has to be seen yet. He has to slim down in order to play 82 games. And actually for not the Spurs, 76ers to have a chance. And when he goes down, it can't just be Tyrese Maxey and now Paul George doing all the work. This is on him, the reason why he has failures. A little bit. A lot of failures could have been on Ben Simmons and James Harden from the past. But he has to get himself in shape, like absolute shape. But anyways, we know Joel Embiid can be in the post. We know he can play some defense. And we all know he can shoot it from the three. I think his best year shooting wise is higher than David Robinson at 38% from the 3-point, which was this past season. But David Robinson wasn't, for his time, conditioned to shoot threes. That wasn't his job. We all know Joel Embiid can shoot from the mid range as well. Joel Embiid best years points wise was actually this past season, averaging 34 points a game, 11 rebounds and 5 assists. But the problem is it looks better because he only played in 39 games this past season. Now he compared to David Robinson, Joel Embiid has the MVP from 2023, which some people thought he cried about too much. He is a 7-time All-Star. He only made it to one NBA first team. That was his MVP season. He's made it to 4 All-NBA second teams. He is on the All-Defensive second team 3 times, but hasn't been on there in 3 seasons now. And he is a 2-time NBA scoring champion, but has never led the league in rebounds, never lead the league in blocks at all. And he just got a medal so far in Paris. So, what do you guys say? David, what would you guys take? And I'm not just talking about career achievements either. You know, that does play a part. But as players on the court playing each other, who would you guys take? Would you guys take David Robinson or would you take Joel Embiid? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, I kind of figured where this is going to go. Remember, I'm just doing this for educational purposes, telling a little bit about David Robinson's career, just a little bit. And also, this is just for fun. Everybody just, I don't know, man. Everybody gets so caught up and getting so much in their feelings about their favorite player all the time. None of these two dudes are my favorite players. I just think Joel Embiid just talks way too much. Like, hey, saying he'll be in the GOAT conversation if it wasn't for injuries. I don't, personally, in my opinion, I don't think he's better than David Robinson. But that's neither here or there. But tell me what you guys think down below.